I own over 400 fragrances and I've never paid retail. This video serves as the definitive ultimate buying guide of scoring the best deals on fragrances. Whether it's niche, designer, or Middle Eastern clone, you have questions and I have answers, so definitely stay tuned. Okay, so I've been in the fragrance community for quite a long time, and the most common questions I get are questions like, is Joma Shop legit? Is FragranceNet legit? Hey, I saw a bottle of Jean Paul Gaultier going for 80 bucks on Amazon. Do you think it's real? There are so many of you out there that have questions like this every day, and my goal is to educate you. I've been a fragrance collector for over 10 years now. I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've also learned a ton. So I want to share that with you today. So today we're going to discuss not only the where, the when, but also the how to get the absolute best deal, whether it's online or in brick and mortar stores. So let's get started. So if you go to Macy's and talk to the salesperson, you're gonna see a bottle of Dior Sauvage sitting there selling for $160. And you're gonna say, hey, I thought I saw this online for a little cheaper. And their usual response is, when you buy online, typically what you're gonna get is either a fake fragrance or something that's been watered down. That's what they almost always tell you. I'm here to tell you that is absolutely not true. I'm gonna give you some examples of fragrances that sell in retail stores, and then I'm gonna give you examples of where you can buy them for up to 80% below retail. They are 100% legitimate and 100% not watered down. So let's start with this fragrance right here. This is a bottle of Versace Eros that you can buy right now at Macy's, and they're selling it for $115. And this is that same exact bottle selling on a website called FragranceNet.com, selling for $66. So what's the difference between these two bottles? Well, here's the deal. When a company like Macy's, Sephora, or Ulta is sent a bulk shipment of fragrances to their stores, they try to sell them. Now, what do they do with the overflow or backstock? They typically sell their backstock to companies like FragranceNet or Joma Shop, which are considered to be the gray market. Now, they don't have any other way of liquidating these fragrances, so they send them to these companies and they sell them in bulk at a deep discounted price. And then those websites don't really do a lot of marketing. They don't have to have a brick and mortar store, so they don't have a ton of overhead. So they can then turn around and sell them to you at a deep discount. That's how the gray market works. And now there are a lot of illegitimate websites out there that are in fact selling like Chinese knockoffs and things like that. But I'm here to tell you that there are tons of legitimate fragrance websites. My suggestion is to get involved in the fragrance community. There is a huge fragrance community on Facebook where there are fragrance groups with 20, 60, 100,000 members, and you can make a post on there just verifying, hey, is this website legit? Now, I know a lot of the members get a little tired of hearing things like, hey, is Joma Shop legit? When that question has been answered a million times. Now, you can do a search in those groups for a topic, and a lot of times you'll see dozens of posts that are answering that question. So a lot of times you don't even have to make a post, just search for other posts related to that topic and you'll have your answer. So I showed you an example of a designer fragrance being deep discounted, but does it work for niche fragrances as well? Absolutely. For instance, here is a bottle of the most popular niche fragrance ever known called Creed Aventus. And if you look at this photo, this is Nordstrom right now selling it for $495. Now, this is a photo of the website jomashop.com selling that exact same size, bottle, and concentration for just $271. And I'll be honest with you, $271 is actually still a little too expensive. So that brings me to the next topic, which is, when should I buy fragrances? The best time to buy fragrances is around Christmas time. That's when companies have the deepest discounts. Now, you can still score great deals oftentimes by searching different websites. Not all websites are gonna have the best value at the same time. So maybe today Joma Shop is at $271, maybe 2 weeks from now, they'll drop it down to $213. There's always gonna be varying prices on varying websites based on their stock of the item as well as interest in the item at the time. If an item is going super viral, typically the prices are gonna to be a little more inflated. If a company has higher stock in an item, meaning they have way more bottles than they can handle, a lot of times they are going to severely discount that bottle. So what you want to do is search the fragrance in Google, and then you're going to see all these discount houses selling them for different prices. So if you're unaware of a particular discount house, like I said, join these Facebook groups and do your due diligence. But once you get accustomed to finding out who is legitimate and who is not, you're going to have a lot easier time being able to search the best price on that fragrance. Now, this is really important. I would almost always urge you to not buy fragrances on websites like Amazon, Walmart, eBay, and websites such as those, where they allow third-party sellers that are not vetted to sell fragrances to you. Because a lot of times when you're buying these fragrances, they are going to be knockoffs. Not all the time. Typically, you're taking a huge risk by purchasing fragrances from third-party sellers, even if it is a legitimate website like Walmart or Amazon. Now, that does not mean that you never should buy fragrances on these websites. A lot of times, if you look down in the description of the fragrance, it's going to say shipped by Amazon, sold by Amazon. When it's shipped and sold by the website itself, they're never going to want to sell you fake products, so you are guaranteed to get the legitimate deal. But you always want to look down in the description to find out who is it shipped by and who is it sold by. Sometimes even you'll see it's shipped by Amazon but sold by a third party. That's still a red flag. I would stay away from that. The other thing is I would not buy from places like Facebook Marketplace and in Facebook groups. When you're dealing with sending someone money directly through Cash App or PayPal or something like that, you are risking the chance of either not getting the fragrance, getting a broken bottle and not being refunded. There's just not a lot of guarantee that you're going to get what you're paying for. A lot of these legitimate websites have protections like shipping insurance in case the product gets lost or broken in transit, they will refund. Most of them have very good customer service and easy to get your money back if something goes wrong. With buying online from someone just selling their bottle from their collection, you're gonna risk running into those types of problems, so I would avoid it altogether. Now, when is it a good idea to shop in brick and mortar stores? Now, here's the deal. Let's say a fragrance is just released and it hasn't hit the gray market yet. Let's say it's only been out for a couple weeks and you have to get your hands on it. Now, you can splurge and buy retail on that fragrance. That's really going to be up to you. Do you need it right now? Do you want that instant gratification? Or are you willing to wait a couple months and let it hit the gray market so that the price will drop significantly and you can get the best deal possible? That's completely up to you. I've done it before where I'm like, oh, I have to have this now, or if I'm reviewing it for a video, I'll often buy it for retail. But most times I will wait and stick it out to get it in a place like FragranceNet or JomaShop so that I can get the best deal possible. Another example where I'd buy brick and mortar is if I'm shopping at stores like Ross or TJ Maxx or Marshalls or rack stores like that. Oftentimes you can find great deals. What I call this is fragrance hunting. You can find great deals on really good fragrances, sometimes fragrances that are a little harder to find online or might be overpriced online, but maybe they've gotten it in as a return or they've just had it sitting in their stock room and they want to get rid of these fragrances. They will give you really great deals in those type of stores, and it's a lot of fun shopping at places like that to score great deals on fragrances. Sometimes you may even pay the exact same price that you can get it for in the gray market, or maybe $5 or $10 more, but sometimes it's worth it if you don't want to wait a couple days for shipping. To be clear, there are a lot of very legitimate websites online in the gray market. They call them fragrance discounters, and you can get a great deal, typically up to 70 or 80% off retail, although most of the time you're going to get between 50 and 60% off of what the stores will sell them, because their overhead is a lot less, and a lot of times they're purchasing these fragrances for a lot cheaper than the main store paid for them. So it can be a really great deal for you. And I hope this video helped you in your journey to becoming either a fragrance collector or not wasting your money on fragrances at retail prices. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all, and as always, have a fragrant state of mind.